Alrighty, we got a game with 3 masters. Let's get right into it. Looks like we're the dealer. And can we flush this? Maybe. Maybe, I guess? Is that true? No. It's not true, because once we pair up north, we just have 7 pairs tempi. Shoot. In that case, what do we do? Like, let's say we pair up the north. Alright, fine. 7 pairs? Is it really? Yes, it is. It's 7 pairs. We're gonna drop the 7, and we're just gonna 7 pairs max. We have this floating door that we can't really use. If we pair it up, we're already 7 pairs tempi, so it's great. That being said, it's possible that we might be able to pull and go for Toy Toy. That's like, it would mean that we lose the ability to use the Doa, but Toy Toy and +1 is still pretty decent. Like, it's 7,700 points. Wait, is this Richie? Hold on. Shoot, I don't know what to do. This is 1 tile left. 1 tile left isn't really that bad, but also, like, 0 tiles left. Huge too. Let's take 0 tiles left on the 8 because, I mean, 8 should be pretty hard to use anyways, right? I don't remember off the top of my head how likely 0 tiles, sorry, 1 tile left. Oh, are we dead? 1 tile left honor tile is to win. Obviously, we would have won if we did it, but, well, it is what it is. Let's see here. Are we gonna lose now? That is the question. Honestly, I don't really feel like talking about it right now. So we're gonna cut until we lose. Or win. Alright, there's only a couple of turns left now, so... Well, are we gonna... Looks like we didn't win. I don't expect the 8's gonna come out, so yeah, fair enough. You know what? I am okay with this, and there's nothing really to say. If it turns out North, if I ever find out whether North was better to wait on, then, you know, future Moko is going to say in a little bubble over here. Not important now, we're just gonna go to the next hand. I got double east, which is great. We've got 2 sticks on the board, which is very important for us to take. 2,000 points is pretty strong. We do have 5 blocks already, so, I mean, you could consider just, I don't know. I don't think it's horrible to just call this 8-so right now. I'm gonna pass on it because... Actually, I don't know why. Shoot. Our win rate is higher if we see the 8. And we're gonna call the double east anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to start calling. I mean, really, there's not much reason to... I can't think of a great reason to refuse the call, honestly. Yeah, that was my bad then. Like, I mean... Sure, it makes it more likely that you end up waiting on East on Tempai, but I don't think that really matters. If it makes it quicker to get into Tempai, then I'm all for that, at least. We're gonna pull into East, of course, and now we still need 2 more steps in order to get into Tempai. I'm gonna drop the 6 now because I don't really think it's useful enough to keep in hand. Like, we can, you know, draw the door, that's great, but it's not important enough, I would say. Yeah, it's not, it's too dangerous to keep in comparison to the honors, basically. Now the question is, since we have 6 blocks again, well, too many blocks, right? What block do we choose to keep? The 5-8 is relatively depleted, like there's 6 tiles left of it, but it also means that it's really cheap. So, I'm kind of inclined to maybe keep it around, like, drop the 8 over here, which only loses, you know, a couple of tiles. It only loses 19. We still keep the 16 acceptance, because we have the 5s over here, and we get to potentially get a 3rd Han like this as well. even a 4th hunt potentially if we draw the Dwa, right? Just kind of exciting. Okay, huge. Here's a 3rd hunt, and so now this is 7,700 points, and it's pretty nice. If we get the red 5, then it's, you know, what's it called, points? It's Mangan. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know if this is the correct way to play it, but this is how we played it. And now we're on 5-8, which is really easy for other players to drop, maybe. I don't really know. Oh shoot. Someone's in Riti now. I'm scared. But it's okay, we're just gonna draw the tile ourselves, right? Never mind. There it is. Thank you. And there is 7-7 for us. Wait, is it 7-7? No, it's 58. I can't count. Yeah, 5,800 points. Alright, well, I mean, still an extremely big win. And now we're in East 1, Repeat 2. Gonna keep on winning. Maybe. 1, weird hand. I'm gonna drop the 1-2 because technically we have 5 blocks already, but I'm not really sure if that's the correct way to play it because it's gonna be pretty difficult to justify keep dropping the 5-6 peanut ore here. And the only reason why you would drop the 1-2 over here is because you want to look for the flush by pairing up the west. I think it's still okay to drop the 1-2, but obviously now the west is useless. And we're probably not going to head for a flush now. So yeah, I mean, I don't think the 1-2 is going to be very liked by the bots, and, you know, I might have to agree with their evaluation on that. It's a bit of, it's quite difficult to justify dropping this good shape after all. However, oh, this is a good one. Do we drop the 9? I'll go ahead and drop 9. Yeah. Keeping east is definitely really nice, because if we pair up east, we have a chance of getting a Mangan again, because we're double east, right? 2 Han, plus 1, and then plus the 4th one, which is the white dragon. This east is super important to keep in our hand. Not for the flush, but for double east. Double east is a better 2 Han Yaku than flush. It's the best 2 Han Yaku, actually. Now the question is, well, we got like this awkwardish shape, and we're definitely not gonna achieve that, that's for sure. And I guess we'll just go ahead and drop the 7s though. I mean, there was the 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku, but I don't really think that's a big deal. I guess you could have dropped the 7, huh? Maybe with the 7 actually, the 7 man. Yeah, because it's not like there's very much improvements that the 7 can get. Like, yeah, you can, I don't know, cheat this to get a pair, but I don't think that's really something I'm interested in doing, because we're already 2 away from Tenpai, technically. So, you know, losing the ability to finish this, or losing the ability to pair up the East is not really that exciting for me, even if it does allow us to get a pair once we start calling. Yeah, so I don't like dropping the 7. So over here I should have dropped the 7 man. Either way, someone has called Riti now. And so we're kind of... Oh, there's not really any more time for us to build this hand. Unfortunately, it looks like we're probably going to want to start folding. Probably dropping the 5-6 or the 2 or something like that, so that we can keep the East around. Could have been better. Yeah, because there's not really much reason for us to push this hand at all. Yeah, I mean, then dropping the 2 should be fine anyways. 6 is safe against the players, most of the players at least, anyways. Yeah, we should have a pretty decent time holding with just the Mansu, really. I'll go ahead and drop 2 or something like that. Is it really that important? We got like all of these tiles to drop anyways. Yeah, whatever, let's just drop 2, so surely no one's waiting on that, right? Right? And then we'll go ahead and start dropping these bad boys. The Mansu, that is. Because we know that they're basically safe against everyone. Is 3 safe? No, it's not. 7 should be relatively safe though, right, that's what I was thinking about. And then, okay, now 3 is safe. We're gonna just go ahead and match that 3, and we should be home free. But that was an accident in terms of the rhyming. Looks like the player across is trying to figure out what to do. Okay, they end up dropping a 3. Maybe they were figuring out whether they wanted to take Tempai or something like that. Either way, none of our business. If we are somehow oh, okay, that's great. Someone has called for us, meaning that we don't need to worry about the player to the right winning on the last draw. Now we just go ahead and drop the 7. Huge. And I'll gladly lose the 1500 or 1000 points. Yep. And head over into East 2. Now we are in first, but we don't have a huge lead. So we still want to, get more points. It's just that we're less inclined to get points than usual because we're already in first. Yeah. Getting points is still valuable. Of course, it also prevents other players from winning. Let's just go ahead and drop south. I'm not really sure what this hand is doing, but there's a possibility for the 7, 8, 9 still, because we don't really have a pair yet. I'm not really sure how that's going to... how our hand is going to develop. And also there's, maybe a chance for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I won't pull it out just yet. Since there's not really... since there's still a glimpse of those, it's definitely better to drop the south. I mean, generally it's better to drop honors instead of, non-honors. Now the question is, well, now we got white, so we don't really need the other Yakus. I think it's, probably just fine to drop the 9 at this point. This pair of white means that we can call even without one of those weird Yaku. Non-standard Yaku, non-essential Yaku. That's a good way to put it. And I guess I'll just go ahead and drop... Is it 9 or 8? Let's go ahead and drop 9, because 8 is more likely to pair up than 9. And yeah, I mean, both of them are dangerous against the player to the right, but... oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that, shoot. No, it's scared. Do it. It's annoying. Can we even drop this 8 now? Surely we can drop it, because, the player to the left dropped a 5 right now, right? Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. But I don't really want the player to the right to get into Tempai, which, well, unfortunately I allowed them to do, apparently. Let's just go ahead and call home for now. Because if they win, then, the game moves. The game goes, further? It goes, longer. That's the word I was looking for. Which isn't really something I'm that interested in allowing. Unfortunately, they did win, and, well, maybe I'm partially to blame for that, but, well, it is what it is, I guess. Now we're in, Piece 2, repeat 4. This is a weird hand. It looks like he might be able to, make out some, what's called hands over here, some, edge shapes over here, but obviously we're not going for Jin-chan or anything like that, because we've got a Doa over here and a Doa over here. I mean, you don't see the Doa over here, but we can draw it, and it makes a block. There's absolutely no reason for us to go for Jun-chan. However, we're gonna keep the Yakai around so that we can potentially start calling, even though we already have 5 blocks. Because, well, I mean, I want to start calling this hand, if possible. Here, we're just gonna go ahead and drop green. Can't really lose anything from this 4-4-6 or the 1-1-3-5 shapes, so we are sort of forced to lose one of the Yakai. This 3, honestly, it's not really that great, but I think we're, when in doubt, gonna drop the north over the 3, because, I mean, we can still get improvements around it. The 4 we'll gladly keep. Yeah, that's fine, I guess, but is it? Are we gonna drop the 3 or the 9 now? I'll go ahead and drop the 9. When in doubt, take this shape that can, improve into, the 1-4 maybe. I mean, the 1-4 isn't really that great of an improvement because it only gives us 2 more tiles and the 1 is Furiten. But it's sort of an improvement. Yeah, okay, now we have that improvement. And so we're just gonna go in and drop either the 5 or the 7. I don't know which one is better to drop, but I mean the 5 is more dangerous, so... whatever. I'll just go ahead and drop the 7. Yeah. There's a chance that we can turn this into Taiyao as well, and having the 2-2-3-3-5 shape is going to be a bit more inducive to us getting that. Also, there's a chance that we get... Oh, no, I'm sad. Dude. Real talk, what do we do here? I have no clue. How about we drop the 2-3? Yeah, we're gonna lose 7 pairs. We're gonna get back the 7, hopefully, and now what? And because the 1s are basically dead anyways, right? We don't need to worry about that. Oh, sweet. Okay. We ended up finishing that shape. The 1s are basically dead, so it's not really that useful anymore. And now what? Drop the 7. The 6s are gone. I totally didn't do that just because I was running out of time. Wasn't thinking very well. But yeah, okay, one other thing to note is that the 4 is once cut. And since we do want the Dwa, it's not really that important to... Or it's not as important of an acceptance. That being said, I still want to draw the 1 man to get into Senpai, so I'm okay with doing this here. I think it's fine to drop the 4 at this point. Confirm the Dwa shape over here. Now we can accept the 1, 2, and the 4, 5 to get into Senpai around these parts. And hopefully we can get into Senpai. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to reach it, yeah. Okay, there we go. Because, I mean, this is value, we want value, we're no longer in first. And yes, it's true that we might deal in, but I think it's worth risking, because we've got the value again, as we've said. There we go. I don't really want to cut again, but if it takes too long, then I will. Alright, we're coming on to our last draw. Don't look like we get it. That's okay. Getting the Senpai payments is still pretty nice. And it's true we do lose 1,000 points due to the... what's called? Due to the Risi. But I mean... if we do make it less likely for the other players to win, maybe. I'm not really sure. Either way, the more important part of Risi, again, is to improve the value that we get when we win. Also, we had no Yaku, so, I mean, just the... getting the increased chance to win is quite strong. Yes. And that is why I call it Risi. Alright, now what? I think you're supposed to drop the 2 here. Yeah, and just keep the... cut down this shape, keep this Kanten. If we fill in this Kanten, then we get perfect Ishanten, which isn't something that we can say when we fill in this shape over here. Now I'm not really so sure anymore, because... I mean, we can just take Ishanten. Yeah, sure, we'll just take Ishanten. We'll go ahead and drop the 6 over here. We can still get into perfect Ishanten if we pair up the 7 or the 9. And of course, if we draw the 8, we can just call it Richi. So it's not really that big of a problem here. I'll go ahead and drop the 9 because this shape over here is a bit more easy to improve. We also get the chance to get Taiyao potentially. Never mind, now we're going to get perfect Ishanten. We're just going to go ahead and drop the 7. Take it, and now we can pair up the 7s or the 4s to get Senpai as well. If we draw the 4 mana, we can get Taiyao, like before. Other thing to note is that the Dwa is guest wind, which means that it's going to be rather difficult for other players to use, besides for the player in last place. This 8 is not useful because, well, I would rather have this Damen, the 3-6 over here, than the 6-9, because the 9 is twice cut and Kuriten. Anything else to think about? There's red 5s that we could potentially get, I guess, but it's not really that much of a choice. We kind of just take them if they come. If someone calls Risi, oh yeah, that's kind of important, right? What if we draw up... Oh, there's nothing to think about. I was gonna say, if we draw a safe tile, there's an argument for dropping the 4, because, I mean, what's it called? We're not the dealer. We're not really that excited to win the hand, so by sort of dropping the 4 over here, and you know, exchanging it for a safe tile, like I don't know, white, for example, we basically deny the route of getting Richi Nomi, right? Valueless Richi. We confirm Pifu when we call it Richi, and we just make it more likely that we can, or make it less dangerous to push when someone else calls Richi before us, right? That's the benefit of dropping the 4 and replacing it for a safe tile like white. Either way, I mean, we're already in Richi, there's nothing more to say. If we deal in, we deal in. That's relatively expensive, but, well, we can take that. Now it's East 3. A lot more difficult for us to get first place now, but that's okay again. We could potentially get first place, but okay, there we go. Yep, by getting the Mangan with Flush. I am very much excited for this now. Could have considered just dropping the 5, honestly. And we are going to drop the 5 right now. And heading mainly for Flush because that gives us the ability to get Mangan. Yeah, I mean, we're still going to keep the 2-3 over here because if we complete it, I mean, it's probably quite important to keep around. Now I'm not really sure whether I want to keep the white or the 3-2. But I'm gonna go ahead and greed a bit. Yeah, sort of head over to the Mangan. I don't think it's that big of a problem to do this. It's also more safe to keep the 2-3, to keep the white for later. So, you know, that's another piece of utility. Again, one of the reasons why going for flush is so strong oftentimes. We don't even need the Itsu over here to get to the Mangan, right? Because we already have, well, potentially one Han over here with the green and the red 5. Go ahead and drop the 2 now. Unfortunately, the player to the left looks like they might be going for a flush as well, meaning that it's going to be a bit more difficult for us to get the tiles that we need. That being said, I mean, it's probably not that likely for them to be flushing, right? It's definitely more likely than usual, but considering they dropped the... what's called right here? The west, on turn 1, basically. I mean, I think it's more likely that they just have, you know, a bunch of Dua, which, you know, that's also a way to get Mangan for them. Get value. Okay, Toy potentially. Although I don't really think this is a very Toy-like hand order, discard order. Okay, this is a bit of a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the 8 now. I mean, the 7s are basically dead anyway, so it's not really that important for us to keep that. We still accept the 7, right, for Tenpai? Question is now, well, what should we worry about? And we should be worried about basically Toy. Yeah, so dropping something... oh, okay. Dropping something that can deal into Toy is not something that we want to do. This is Tenpai, however, and we're just gonna go and take Tenpai. Is there a difference between... I'm just gonna cheat like this, I think. I don't think that's a bit of a problem. This too could just deal into Toy right now, and well, if it does, then we're kind of sad, but I'm pretty sure it's okay to do so when we're already in Tenpai. Thankfully they did not have the Dua, so, you know, at least we're still in second. But yeah. If we dealt into a Mangan like that, then we'd be a lot more sad, for sure. Either way, it's all last, and we are in second place. So what do we do when we're second place in all last? Well, we try to, number 1, win, and that's always something to do, but we should be a lot more sensitive to not dealing in, because as long as we don't deal in, we're not going to get last place. Now, of course, there is a chance of getting last place still, because, well, by not dealing in, like, for example, the dealer over here wins a hand and gets into second place, and then the player across wins a hand after that, and then we'd be in last place. But the important thing I'm trying to emphasize is that, yes, we can be a lot more defensive in second place in All Last because of the fact that we don't really get into last place unless, or the chance that we get into last place other than dealing in is very low. The thing is, okay, how are we gonna defend? It's already the end of row 1 and it's not really great. We haven't really gained a very pleasant gold path yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop, I don't know, this 7. I mean, it's not giving us any immediate acceptance. I'm gonna keep these sort of edgier tiles later. We can still accept the 5, right? To get into Yisanten, it's not that big of a deal. That 2 dropping is a little bit interesting. They could already be in Tempai, so I gotta be a little bit careful against them. I'm gonna go and drop the West now, I guess. The thing is, though, right, I mean, the chances that the player across is in Tempai right now is pretty low, honestly, because they've only dropped, like, you know, these 2s and 8s and whatever. And you can't really put a finger on, you know, their speed just yet. That's another, you know, problem, again, like I was saying. Here, we're just gonna go ahead and drop the 2 now, keep the safer 1 for later. Now, thankfully, we do have the ability to get Tanyao, so that's cool. We drop the 2 and the 1 now. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. Is 1 pin too dangerous to drop? No. I want to drop the 1. If we deal in, we're screwed, but it is what it is, I think. Yeah. I want to make sure I have safety for someone who calls Richie like this later, so I want to definitely keep this 1, so for example. And, okay, if this player calls Richie, I'm just gonna go ahead and full on fold. We don't need to worry about winning hand anymore, because the player to the right is, well, we're not gonna make it more likely for the player to the right to win, and they're already in Senpai. We're just gonna let them do their own thing. Because as long as they win, we're home free, we're gonna be in second place. It's nice. Now the onus is on these other players, right, the players in 3rd and 4th, to figure out how to win. And I'm just going to, you know, sit back and try to lower my dealing rate as much as possible. This 5, we're gonna match the 5. The 6 could have technically turned into the player to the across's deal-in tile, but we're gonna go ahead and drop that later now anyways, because, I mean, if this was a tile that dealt into the player across, then surely they would have cheated to get into Senpai, right? So yeah, I think the 6 is still plenty safe enough to drop, and now we have the 4 pins that save tiles. Oh, also another problem. Oh, please kill him? No! Okay, shoot. I forgot about this, but, or I wasn't really paying attention, I wasn't really giving it the attention that it deserved, but it's definitely possible that, shoot, that we get into 4th place by these players getting Senpai and us not, which is, it's a pretty big problem, actually. And it does look like it's probably gonna happen at this point. Do we pull this? Oh, never mind. Oh, shoot! Oh, that's like a man. Oh, that's fine. I mean, we don't get 3rd place. We don't have 2nd place anymore, but, you know, I'm perfectly fine with winning this, and then at least we avoid 4th. Which, I mean, of course, I would have rather gotten 2nd, but I would have much more rather have not gotten 4th. And so I'll be okay with this result. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.